microbiology also, or to optimize the making of chips and all this. We have used the same techniques for optimization of test cases. I'll just cover some of the best practices and I will close for the day. Automate the complete test process as much as possible. That is the first thing that you should do. This will help you quite a lot. Analyze every case that you make. The first time you do this, analyze every test case. So most of the time what has happened is the test case is wrong rather than the code or the requirement. We would have made a mistake first time we are doing things. So look at it very carefully the very first time you do it. Once it is done, you are confident, you're working, everything is working fine. You can very easily use it for the regression tests and all that. But very first time you do it, better be very careful. Have a configuration management in place. Very, very important to store all your test cases. SPN is there, JIRA is there. You can use these open source tools to store your test cases. Always develop a front end. Better to have a GUI sort of thing so that it can ease your test process. Eyeball the requirements and the model. So normally when the model comes and the requirement comes as a code, preserve your independence, but please do eyeball these two. You will find a lot of issues. Before you do the testing itself, you would have found issues. Errors like bugs are always found in the same place. So this is what I keep saying. And so always you will find cockroaches behind your sink. So the errors also are in the same nature. Always you will have initialization errors. You will have errors in integrators. You will have errors in gains. You will have errors in lookup tables. We know it. Last 26 years we have been seeing errors in the same place again and again. So look for the errors immediately. And if you are working for a US company, so you will be under a lot of pressure, finish the testing within 2 days. Look for these things first and find these errors, throw it back at them. Then, they said, okay, we have to correct all this. So while they are correcting all this, do your other testing. So play an intelligent game because you're coming at the very end of your project. So play intelligently and do a good job and find these errors fast because you know where to look for. Have a systems guy handy nearby, talk to him and understand the system more than the software. Tap out a lot of global variables if possible. Tap out the internals and compare. This will give you an insight into the working of your code. Use random testing as much as possible. We are incapable of thinking of all combinations because we are humans. We just cannot think what can happen, what can go wrong. So use random testing. It doesn't matter if it is ridiculous, but do it. We do testing with the aircraft on ground with the tires up and trying to fly up. You do all sorts of nonsense, but at the end of the day, it can give you some good insight into the working. Always remember that as a tester, you are the last line of defense, especially for a safety critical system. And always remember that you have to break the system. Okay? It actually gives you a perverse pleasure, and people call you an eccentric, but you do save lives. So always remember that you are always the last line of defense between your system and your family using that system. Okay, so always remember that. Software testing presents a lot of opportunities and there is a lot of scope for improvement. So you can still do a lot of things there. This field can be explored for higher studies also. If you are working in this field and you want to do a higher study, try and do higher studies in this specific field so that you can understand. Experiment with software like the chemists, mix two different things, look at different ingredients, put them together and see what happens. Something new will come up. Use those things. Okay. And last line of the slide, let us not wait for the software catastrophe of 2025. So let us do a good job now. You guys can contact me anytime. Okay, I'm on LinkedIn. My Gmail ID is here. And thank you for listening to me.
Thanks for the insightful presentation, Mr. Jappu. Let's quickly take up few of the questions, and I request you to read out the questions and their answers so that all users may listen to the insights.
I have a question here which says, do we need to consider